Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, I want to expose the United States court system a little bit more. It's my second favorite topic to politics. Maybe it's my favorite. The average American doesn't realize how pathetic the court system really is. And the reason why they don't know is because nobody says anything. But let's talk about the court system a little bit more. First, whenever there's an issue that has to be decided by a court, the court always asks for briefs, memorandums. And both sides write these memorandums and they reply and they say everything they need to say and it's in front of the court. Now, that should be enough, shouldn't it? Any judge in America ought to be able to look at those briefs, say, okay, that's what they're saying, and make a decision. But they do this archaic thing called oral arguments. I think judges get lonely or something, so they want to see oral arguments. It's in local courts, appellate court, Supreme Court, federal, state, oral arguments. So it delays a decision because you got to schedule oral argument where all the parties are doing is saying what's already written down in their brief. It's archaic and a waste. Then you've got the opinions. Folks, judges sit there and listen to two people argue and talk. Then they'll say, well, I'll get my decision out in a month. Why don't you just issue a decision? You've heard it all. Especially in small legal matters, domestic relations, little criminal matters. It's unbelievable. The process that we've created just delays. And then the writing of the opinions. Oh my goodness. The other thing is there's this thing called abuse of discretion. The rule in most appeals isn't, are you right or you're wrong? Who's right and who's wrong? That's the way you and I think. That's the way it should be. Who's right and who's wrong under the law and the facts? So many times the appellate courts say, well, we don't agree with that, but there's no abuse of discretion by the trial court. Then you have them refusing to decide issues that are before them. The U.S. Supreme Court does it all the time. Refuses to hear a dispute that they know is driving people crazy. Parties, states, half the country, well, we're not going to decide that. It's maddening. And then these are not supposed to be stupid people, folks. These are supposed to be learned counsel, learned judges. The Ohio Supreme Court recently, in a Durrani case decision, completely ignored the law. It's a state statute that says that if somebody leaves the state, Durrani fled to Pakistan under indictment, it tolls everything until he comes back. These aren't stupid people. They just freaking ignored it. Ignored it. You cannot justify and explain that unless corruption. Because they're not stupid people. How do they ignore that? Just completely ignored it. And then when they're wrong. When I think about this every day across America, when a judge or a group of judges make a terrible, clearly wrong decision, like the Ohio Supreme Court recently. You have to file a motion to reconsider. You got to fight them. You can't give up. But it's maddening. You know, there is no substitute. And by the way, there are some good judges in this country. Some. I think in Northern Kentucky, in the circuit court level in Boone County, we got good judges. There's a couple in Kenton County that are good. I have, and over the last 10 years, I am blown away at how lazy and how political the Hamilton County Common Pleas Court system is. I mean, it is, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. I want to tell you a story, too, about lack of judicial courage. Do you remember, you know, the DeVue Park, 700-acre park, that was given to the city of Covington by William and Charles DeVue? First case I ever had. I just got sworn in as a lawyer, and I'm in the courtroom trying the DeVue Park case, representing some heirs who said, hey, the city of Covington violated the conditions of the gift. It needs to go back to the heirs. It was clear as hell. Judge Galeese knew it. Does Judge Galeese do what's right? No. Well, he leaves it with the city of Covington. I mean, the DeVue family made a condition. That, what I just described, goes on all the time. What is the right decision is ignored for some political weird purpose. It's crazy. I took over to my dear old father-in-law, Jerry Zimmer, who's a fine American, great guy, always been supportive of me. And I had him read an explanation of what happened. It was an email that went out to all the Durrani clients about the latest, the update and everything, and a summary of everything. And when I stopped and saw him day before yesterday, after reading that, he looks at me and he says, no one would ever believe what you guys have gone through. It is so unjust. It's nobody would believe it, but it really happened. And he says, he goes, it's remarkable how you get insights. He goes, you know, Lady Justice is supposed to be blind, isn't she? And aren't the scales supposed to start out even? Boy, have they pressed on those scales and removed that blindfold. He summed it all up. And again, you know why it happens? Nobody speaks out against the judges because they write rules that say lawyers aren't supposed to speak ill of judges because it brings disrepute upon the system. No, bad and crooked judges bring disrepute upon the system. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? This is the Bulldog. Every dog has its day. I'm going to have my day. I hope you do too.